Welcome to a closer view of District 2. My name is Ivy Taylor, and I'm your councilperson for District 2. Thank you for tuning in. The show will consist of segments that focus on current and ongoing projects and quality of life information.
Councilwoman Taylor, City Manager Cheryl Scully, and District 2 residents participated in the fiscal year 2013 community budget hearing held at S.J. Davis Middle School. The purpose of the community budget hearing was to allow citizens to provide their input or concerns on city services and programs in preparation for the fiscal year 2013 budget process. Let's listen to a brief recap of the meeting.
From our previous discussions, we have a big city budget. We're a big diversified municipal corporation with 11,400 employees, and we have a $2.2 billion annual operating and capital budget. And it's divided into three categories: our general fund, the restricted funds, and our capital budget, where we make capital improvements and construction. For those of you who participated in our 2012 bond program development and the election, thank you. The voters overwhelmingly supported the bond projects that were approved on May 12th, and that will enable us to build more streets, repair more streets, more sidewalks, improve flood control with drainage projects, add and improve some of our parks, add 2 libraries, as well as replace 2 fire stations. So with that funding, we'll be able to make some very necessary capital improvements for the community. But we also, of course, operate our core services. Budget in early August. This year it will be on Thursday, August 9th, is when I will present the proposed 2013 budget. And we usually do budget hearings in each of the 10 districts. This year we're doing 5 meetings before the budget's presented, and we'll do another 5 meetings after the budget's presented. And then of course we have 2 citywide public hearings at the City Council chambers. So there are 12 public meeting opportunities to comment on the budget. And tonight we'd like to ask for your input on those things that you think are most important for the council members and staff to consider funding in our proposed budget. So
residents work together in groups in an effort to state their top priorities of city services and programs, as well as suggestions on city services that should be improved. Let's listen to some of the input from citizens regarding city services and programs for the fiscal year 2013 budget process.
That also prepares them for great jobs. So when we continue our economic development in the city, we want to make sure that we are preparing workers. And so those initiatives will definitely help with the paid jobs.
We have about 40% of our youth who drop out of high school. They don't finish 4 years of high school. So one of the priorities that we have is education. Education has come up a couple times before. In order for our society, our citizens to be ready for 21st century jobs, which are not manual labor, they're not, janitorial, they are technical jobs. We've got to have a literate workforce. And if we want our children to be literate, their parents have to be literate. So education is one of our top priorities.
The fiscal year 2013 budget will be proposed on Thursday, August 9th. For more information on the fiscal year 2013 budget, please visit www.sanantonio.gov/budget. And coming up next, find out what special guests dropped by the set of A Closer View of District 2 when we return. Neighborhood Association President Ms. Pfeiffer, Ms. Della Garza, Ms. E, Executive Director of SAGE, Ms. Gorman, and Ms. Morgan stopped by the Closer View of District 2 studio for the segment Community Conversations. Let's watch the recap of the show.
Okay, hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Community Conversations. I'm Ivy Taylor, your host for today, and also the District 2 Council member. We just wanted to take the opportunity to talk with some community folks about things that are happening in District 2 and throughout the city, and to get their candid perspective on the work that they do and how the city can support them. Ladies, I know that you all have been laboring out there to make your neighborhood a better place to be. Will you talk a little bit about what it's like leading neighborhood associations and what your concerns are and priorities for the areas where you live?
One of the most difficult things is maintaining the membership and participation in the neighborhood. A lot of people want to complain about things, but when it comes to being active and involved, they grow silent, and that is what is one of the most challenging things to our area.
I just happen to have, my neighborhood is small, and we have a lot of senior citizens and a lot of people that are homebound. So that is one of the challenges we have, because it's hard to get them out and participate, or we don't have manpower to do things that we need to do.
Is to beautify and keep our community together. Keep it up to 2012. We're back still in some areas, some era back, but it's still a real nice neighborhood to live in. But they don't know the beauty of it.
What are some of the ways that your elected officials and all other officials, that work for the city, what are the ways that they can better support you doing a good job as a neighborhood association, as an active neighborhood association?
Always really nice whenever the other parts, the other departments of the city have a little pressure from the city council person into making sure that they are doing the job that they need to be doing. We have issues like the stray dogs, and we had issues, with the drugs and those kind of things with the police department. And so sometimes you do your part and they try to do their part, but it's so big, and the District 2 is so big by itself that sometimes it gets lost in the shuffle. And whenever I contact your office or your staff, then that gives us a little leeway, because then we feel like we are really being heard and that you listen to the concerns that we have. And I like that, because they seem to respond better and faster.
The best thing you could do for our area in East Village is to get us a new code officer. I firmly believe that, just like law enforcement, that the presence is essential to keep order and discipline. I believe the same is true for the code officers. And when there is an absence and they're not paying attention to obvious things in the neighborhoods, then the problems multiply, and they multiply rapidly. And while I'm not asking for the nitpicking code compliance, but there needs to be some fairness, because we have some people who believe they've been targeted for some reason. There needs to be some consistency, and there needs to be a presence to handle the glaringly obvious issues in the community and get those issues addressed and cleaned up, so the neighborhood looks presentable.
Miss Lisa, that point is very well taken, and we had this same conversation we had a Dignity Hill zoning meeting last week, and we couldn't even get to talking about zoning because we were talking about code compliance. And so I really want to figure out how we can fix the code compliance issues, because it doesn't seem to be working too well, not just for your area, but for others as well. But let's talk about kind of getting outside of maybe the boundaries of the residential area. One of the things that makes a neighborhood kind of a great place to be is access to, services and retail that, we all need. And in some parts of District 2, those things are a little bit sparse. And so we have Miss Jackie here from SAGE, which is our East Side Economic Revitalization Agency. So Miss Jackie, will you tell us a little bit about the work that SAGE does and how these commercial corridors can help make neighborhoods better places to be?
Certainly. And the thing that I think I need to start with is that we are partners to the neighborhood associations. And one of my goals is to get out to all of them, and I am probably somewhat embarrassed that I have not made it to any of these three ladies associations. Although Ms. Lisa and I were on the schedule and had to reschedule, and we haven't quite gotten it done yet. But one of the things that we do is talk to the neighborhood associations and talk to them about what is it that you would like to see in your neighborhood. And sometimes I hear things that are totally outrageous, like we really need a Neiman Marcus. And they got great cookies. Yeah, they really do. And so sometimes we have to have a conversation about what's realistic. But in most cases, I get really good feedback and information from the neighbors, the people who would support those businesses, about what types of businesses they need in their community. That gives me some direction so that then I can go out and try to recruit people to provide those types of retail services to those neighborhoods. If I don't know what you need, then, I'm working with anybody, anywhere. But if you give me a target, then that's something that I can work for. People are talking to me about chain restaurants and about retail pharmacies and those types of things. And so that gives me the opportunity to have a really honest discussion with them about what the limitations are, because in talking to these businesses, they have specific parameters. So we talk about that, but we can also talk about what we can realistically do and how we can help them with that.
I really want to talk to you about my neighborhood.
Okay.
I have an access road in my neighborhood that I've been trying for 5 years now, trying to get C1s or light industrial out of my neighborhood. Some people have certificate of occupancy and some of them don't. They don't even have the square footage. And I am one of the team members of the IH Temper and the planning team. And we planned it for the neighborhoods now and for the neighborhoods to come. That around neighborhoods, we're supposed to have it a C3, which is commercial business, non-alcoholic for neighborhoods. Anywhere there's neighborhoods, then we're going to have small business to accommodate the neighborhood, and not to have us with 18-wheeler, tankers, and all that. So yes, I've been having problems with code compliance and zoning. How come it is that I can help people get their businesses in our I-10, but I can't help people, the communication thing between me and code compliance and zoning. I'm not there just to be a nuisance. No, I don't want to be a nuisance. But since I'm in the planning team, I know that this can help you. That in anywhere there's a neighborhood, close to the neighborhood, just keep it a small business. And that's the way we planned it, and that's the way it went to City Council, adopted and amended, and now it became the law. Now from there, code compliance and zoning thinks that I am a nuisance. But to better our neighborhood, it would be best to keep it the way we planned it. The plan is good.
The challenges in dealing with some of those kind of issues in some areas where maybe 20, 30 years ago, maybe not the best decisions were made, and then you have businesses that are already kind of been there for a long time. It can take a while to get on the right path to make those changes to see the kind of businesses that you feel would complement the area. I know that one of the things that Sage has been working on has just been marketing, especially for the east side, as far as it being just a cool place to be, right? A safe place to be.
We try to celebrate the great things that are happening. A new business opening, one of the schools wins an award, a child gets a scholarship, a community builds a garden. Those are the types of things that we like to get out into the news media because, unfortunately there are a lot of negative stories about the east side, and we try to balance those with positive stories. So one thing that you guys could really do to help me is that when you hear about something great going on, and it doesn't matter if it's a neighborhood Easter egg hunt or you having a bike parade for the kids, let us know about it because we will certainly get the word out and try to get media there. If nothing else, we'll put it on our email list and send it out to people all over the east side so they might be able to stop by and see what you're doing or come out and support you. So call us and let us know the good news so that we can share it all over town.
One of the things that you all would like to see from your different perspectives, how can the city plan better? Do you think the neighborhood planning process is helpful? How can we strengthen that whole component of planning for San Antonio?
Small businesses need a push, to flourish. And I think it would be better. We did have the H-E-B store that was refurbished on WW White Road and the one on Houston Street. And they're still not up to par on that. And I think that's probably hard, to do it. Because I think our vision is, why can't we have it like they have it on the north side of town? How come they have all those nice things over there and we don't? There's a lot of money on our area. So where is that money going to? Is the people going to shop all the way over across town because they get better services and things? And the Rigsby corridor and the WW White corridor, I think that they are wonderful places to do business with. But it takes the village.
Going back to the planning and zoning, I think there needs to be more of an effective outreach by those people in those particular areas. You can go put an ad in the paper, and how many people get the paper anymore, how many people go online and read the ads, okay? You can, send out notices, here and there, okay, to a certain number of people in a particular area. But I think there needs to be a more effective outreach, because I don't think in the nearly 2 years that I've been with East Village, I don't think I've ever gotten anybody from, hey, I'm so-and-so from this department, and I would like to come and speak to your neighborhood association, or maybe sometime considering having like a city services day or something in District 2.
But I think we have to be really careful to engage our small business owners in the planning process. And part of what's happening is the relationship is becoming adversarial between the residents and the businesses. And when that happens, they will choose to locate their business someplace else. So if we want to be business friendly, we want to encourage small businesses to develop around our community, we need to reach out to those businesses and make sure that are there, and make sure they understand they are part of the community.
Right.
And so it can't be an us versus them. So one of the things that I always say to the neighbors.
This year we made some progress toward that end. We repaved a good portion of the street before the march. We planted some, Saha planted some trees. We got some decorative banners up and they're still up, and they have sayings from Dr. King. We wanted to do some home improvement for some homeowners in the corridor. We didn't have a chance to do that prior to the march, but we are going to continue that focus, because it only makes sense because once a year, 100 to almost 200,000 people end up coming down, that street, and we want to put our best foot forward.
Comments that say, well, it's because the march is coming, and if the march wasn't coming, nothing would happen on this section of I-10 to WW5 Road, and I think that's one of the main things. I would like to say that just like Brook City-based and city-based lending are thriving right now, I would like to see that come down, or go up north on WW5 Road.
The retailer, and I kind of understand their business decision that they are making is that they are not going to put a store in a location where there is not the density of households to make money at that store. They are not in business to grow communities. They're in business to grow businesses.
To make money.
Yeah, they're in business to make money. Yeah. And so that's an ever evolving battle. When we can show the right density, then we get retailers who are willing to talk to us. The biggest issue that I've had over the last few years is even finding out what their standard is so that we can know what we're working toward. So when you say they built this at City Base, it has to do with density of households. And so when we get that density up, then we have a really good case for getting those retail locations there.
Up with a final question, and our guest host is going to ask the final question. So, Ms. Taylor, what would you like to ask our panelists? Speak up.
What are some positive things that you have seen?
Did y'all get that?
What are some positive things that we have seen? Well, I would like to say that we are very happy that Ms. Ivy Taylor, the Councilwoman for District 2, listens to our complaints, listens to our suggestions, and that you're always busy working.
Slowly getting together and meeting each other, because in the past nobody knew who was who. I mean, they knew who they lived by just their faces, but actually bonding, that's beautiful. I like that.
We also talked about the historical past leadership for District 2 and how far it has come, and that you do listen, you're out, you're visible in the communities, whether it's just meeting people in person or the television coverage. And I know particularly you listened to our neighborhood when it came to the parking space and bike lanes. And we truly appreciate that, because I think a lot of the former people wouldn't have gone to bat for us per se. They would have said, well, it's already approved and funded, so it's coming whether you want it or not. But you didn't do that to us. You took the time, you came out, you had a meeting, you listened to what had to be said, and we took it from there. But that I think makes everything better and impacts everything in District 2 when you have an elected official that listens to the people.
The positive thing that I see is that we have new small businesses locating in neighborhoods. We talk about WWA. I hope all of you have gone to visit our newest coffee shop, Inspirational Grounds. But people are making investments in our community. We need to be partners with them, and we need to support them.
On that note, I would like to thank you ladies for joining us for Community Conversations. And just to echo some of your sentiments, it's about all of us really working together, because there's no one entity, not SAGE or your individual neighborhood associations or the city staff. We can't make the changes that we want to see alone. We've all got to work together. We've got to communicate. We've got to be persistent. And I see that in all of you, and I appreciate the work that you have done. So thank you so much again for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for tuning in to A Closer View of District 2. As you can see, there's a wide variety of exciting projects and activities happening throughout District 2, all designed to make our community a better place to live. I look forward to seeing you next time on a closer view of District 2. Again, thanks for watching. I'm Ivy Taylor, your council person for San Antonio Council District 2.